I'm thinking I'm live that whole time. I was like talking. What's going on, y'all? It's Jam. I was talking that whole time, like setting up this whole thing on StreamYard as if I was already live. Then I see the I see the button in the corner. Shit said go live. We live. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab some water. Tell me what is good, yeah, y'all. Tell me that you love me. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I ain't even gonna hold myself. So this is gonna be short. Well, not short, but it's gonna be to the point and all that. What's up? This is Jam, and this is gonna be like a mini series, mini summer Gemini season series, taking advantage of the energies and introducing two new original stories. While I have the Institute Pursuit in the fucking stew right now, it's all cooking up and getting all mastered and mixed it up. Um, but I want to start off by saying, what's up? I'm on IG over here. I'm on YouTube over here. Maybe I can get them to, but I might have to just take it off. What's going on, Just Able? I might have to just, yeah, we'll see. But I do want to find something before we get started because this was the premise of why I'm even doing this, right? It's like, what the fuck? What you even doing? What you doing? Like, what are you doing? So I'm gonna show what it is that I'm doing. Okay, so let me share the story. 4 scores and psych. I think this is a while ago in like kind of like a meme dump kind of fashion. I put on my story. I need to find out how long ago this was. Because I'll have an idea and I'll just go with that idea and it'll hold me or I'll hold it. No, who knows? For a while. But I had this idea in the middle of this like IG story dump of things. I said, I'm going to write an entire play online. And so that is what. Wait. Oh, here it is. Okay, how long ago was this? I wish I could see. Okay. All right. Can't read it. Can't read it. But look, it say, and I quote, it's right here. I'm going to write an entire play on the internet. I don't care about anybody biting me. I have infinity and one stories. I'm going to screenshot this. Actually, I'm going to just add it to my IG. Yeah, I'm going to just add it to my. You can read. Look, how long ago was 8 weeks ago? I really do be like honing in on ideas and just like thinking and dreaming about it and like it be getting me through the hard times. But look, I'm going to write an entire shit. Now I can't even read this backwards. Hold on. I'm gonna write an entire play on the internet. I don't care about anybody biting me. LOL. I have infinity in one stories. So that's what's driving and motivating this series. This is the world premiere E series season 2. Last year, 2021, I did season 1. I like to work in concepts and just introducing the theater artist kind of character that I embody. And it's acting, mostly playwriting. And it's playwriting because I never consider myself the strongest playwright or like a strong writer when it comes to dramas, only because I was comparing myself to other writers and other narratives that was being, mostly published. And I decided to focus instead on just performance. Obviously, in recent years, you got to create your own opportunities. You got to create your own opportunities and you have to get it in on your own. So I want to write roles not only for myself, but for other people who want to do it on their own. Kind of it's starting with a lot of grassroots intentions, which I think is cool. But don't get it twisted. Like the whole goal is to get to the mainstream, like is to get to the limelight. But before it gets to Hollywood, I like to hold on to that, like that grassroots, that theater that you can perform it anywhere type of shit. And because that's just what fuels me. That's what's close to my heart. So that is the introduction. This is season 2 of the Writers Room, and it's very just chill, laid back. We're writing an entire play on the internet. I'm going to show y'all my process. I started this in 2021 is when I got really like intricate with how I go about doing it. So it's kind of like a writer's course if you're interested in writing on your own. I'm going to run down in this particular video, I'm going to run down utilizing the internet. I mean, obviously, like you can use a journal. I'll be writing in my journal and shit. But using Google Drive or any type of online storage facility to capture all of your stories, especially or ideas, especially when you're on the run or on the go. Like I'll be outside, I'm on my phone, or I'm waiting in line somewhere, and I'm just like, oh, idea. Take out my phone, go to Google Drive. So that's what this video is. This is lecture 1. Also, a big majority of this is going to be on Patreon, because what I want to do throughout is, or what I envision is utilizing songs, movie clips, and playing them. IG is like, and YouTube is just they don't fuck with like utilizing copyrighted material, but it's like for teaching purposes. I just gotta get nitty gritty with the with like the vernacular and how to go about doing that. So if anyone knows anything about that, let me know. But yes, who am I? I am Jam. I'm just a theater nerd. I'm not just that, but like I gotta put that out there. It's like I'm a theater nerd. I love stories, acting, performance, performativity. Not to get confused with like being phony. Like, oh, you acting. Like people say that all the time. Like, oh, you acting, or why are you acting like that? Acting is literally just the achievement of a particular goal. Like you get a performance review at work. Like, oh, this is your performance review. Like, how are you performing? And I went to school, college, did some grad school. I'll be returning to grad school. I did some, so I'm in the field, right? Like, love theater, high school. All right, cool. Acting makes me feel, all right, awesome. Get into higher education, and it's like a whole nother world. And I absorbed a lot more than I should have, I admit. Just because it's like you're out in the world and you're fucking like, you have a passion, but you want to make it work. But then you see like other people's journey and timelines, and without them saying it, they're like, hey, you should do it this way, but they're not saying it. And they're saying like, this is the only way to success. I always had in my mind, I'm going to be successful in my own way. I'm going to find that success in my own way. Now it's taking some time. It's taking some time. I ain't going, it ain't all easy peasy, beautiful thug girl for young thug, but we doing it, and we're here now. So that's who I am, or that's what I'm doing right now, performance studies, and not just in terms of theater, because what theater has helped me with, low key, high key, is just understanding human psychology. And it spans out into the arts, the aesthetic arts, which can be dance, music, acting, but then it also goes into religion and spirituality, the performance aspect of that. Church, growing up in church, that was one of my biggest inspirations and earliest memories of performativity. You got the music, you got the riling up the crowd, you got the people responding and reacting. So performance studies and religion go hand in hand. Performance and work, as I mentioned earlier. Performance and sports, performance and sex, performance, it goes and it spans a lot, but right now I'm gonna just hone it in and focusing on just the art. Or performance art, rather, not to be confused with visual arts. Hold on. Twitch is another platform that is more forgiving on copyright. Okay, all right. I'm gonna look into Twitch too. I'm gonna look into Twitch. Thank you, Just Able. All right, so that's my intro. That is what I'm doing. Yeah, short, sweet, to the point, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let me take a little, I like to work, or if I'm teaching, I like to work workshop style. Like I could sit in front of the clicker, but I like to just like workshop style. Like, all right, everybody, let's get in a circle and I'm gonna just talk and walk around. Like I'm gonna just do that because it's like I'm also living and breathing and going with the flow. Yes, I have a idea and a curriculum in mind, but I'm also just flowing. So that was me just flowing, you know. Okay, so going back to our original source, I'm gonna write an entire play on the internet. I don't care about anybody biting me. I'm reading it on. I have infinity in one stories. So the first story that came to mind, this happened during, this was Aries season. And I'm sitting and I'm watching the new Cruella movie. Shit was so good. That film was incredible. Like aesthetically pleasing. And it was like a huge satire. It was super funny. I wasn't expecting it. But this was like after like the Oscars hype, and it like, I think it won for like best costume design. And then I watched it afterwards. I was like, I can see why it won. Them costumes was off the chain. Like them costumes was really like aesthetically pleasing. I need to watch that movie again. But I was sitting there, I was watching Cruella, and then I had this idea called the Black Jester. I don't know what I don't know how Cruella, I'm just running it down. I don't know how Cruella reminded me of the movie Black Knight with Martin Lawrence. Let me get that up. Actually, I be forgetting. I'm on YouTube and I'm sharing my screen. So let me go do that. And then for IG, I'll just show my phone. This is this is like one of the earliest. So, all right, so I'll do that Wikipedia Tanga. And for those who do not know, the Black Knight came out in 2001. Martin Lawrence. So fucking funny. This is the movie, one of the movie posters. And then I'm on StreamYard, on YouTube, you can see that. I don't know what about Cruella maybe reminded me of the Black Knight, but I think I always had this, like, it was like surfing in the subconscious. I was like, because the Black Knight was just one of the earliest films, because when I was a kid, like the DVD player coming out, biggest thing in the world. And I particularly remember like my family got the DVD player, a bunch of DVDs, and it was like a Friday night, got the snacks, got the movies. We ready to watch it on DVD. You know, the new tech. This is crazy. This is the times we in is crazy. But I remember it was either the first, I think it was the first movie, was the Black Knight. And it was just, honestly, going back to performance, it was the ritual of sitting and watching a new movie. And it wasn't even that the movie was like particularly like the best. It was just the fact that we were sitting there watching the movie, and then I'm just laughing my ass off. It's one of my favorite movies to this day. Like I said, not because of it actually being like a superb film. I'm pretty sure it got like zeros all on Rotten Tomatoes. You know the critics. But that film itself has a lot of throwback to mythological lore, particularly about Knights of the Round Table, Knights of Templar, King Arthur, but they don't necessarily talk about that. Also, so that was that. So fast forward, rewind to Aries season. I'm doing some initial research, and I just grab, you know what I'm saying? You get inspiration, you write that shit down. It doesn't matter how you do it. Like, you can take mental notes, and I'm not, denying the power of the mind. The mind is super powerful. But as soon as you write some shit down, even using your fucking phone, even using your phone, that shit will stick, especially if it's an idea that, like, I want to get rolling. If you're in the space to create something new, that's the biggest suggestion I can make. Just write that shit down. Even if you don't got a pen and paper, write it on your hand. Just be like, I got this idea, write a symbol, because then that's what's going to ground you to fulfilling it. Because you did that ritual of, yep, I'm serious about this idea. So this new angle came to me. I was like, oh my gosh, the Black Knight. But I want to remix it. I imagined at the end of the Black Knight, spoiler alert, you know what? I'm going to do a movie night and we're going to watch the Black Knight. I mean, yeah, the Black Knight. Because I want to go back and like really get nitty gritty with like the intricacies of like the virtues and the principles. Anyway, so sat back. I'm like, okay, the Black Knight. I wanted to kind of push the plot, because at the end of the plot, there's this whole time traveling thing. It's set in 2001, like somewhere in Compton, I think. And then the protagonist, whose name is Jamal, he like finds this amulet that's in a moat. He works at at this like Renaissance fair, He sees an amulet that's inside of a moat, and he like goes to grab it, and then he grabs it and gets like, and then he wakes up in like medieval England. I think it's medieval time. Yeah, it's like medieval times, and like that's the whole plot. So he's basically like taken back in time, and you know there's jokes about race. But the overall arc and theme is just kind of like the underdog story. You know, there's the corrupt government, there's the peasants, the working class people, the royalty, this kind of dissonance between morality and damn, like the king did this to make it to the top. Martin Lawrence's character kind of he gets recruited as like a jester because he's just so funny. And yeah, no, it's a great film. We're gonna have to fucking watch it. But basically, at the end of it, he kind of gets, it's like he comes back to present day, the protagonist, and then something happens. He like gets pushed back into the moat. Then he wakes up in like Caesar time, like ancient Greece, ancient Rome, because he's in this Colosseum with a fucking lion. And so that's the end of the film. It's like a cliffhanger. In my mind, a while ago, I remember saying like, oh, I want to push it further. Like I want to do like a fan fiction type of thing where like we get to kind of see what happens now that he's in ancient Greece or ancient Rome, one of them fuckers. And I want to see, like, I want to push that further. But then I was like, wait a second. No, I want to make a spinoff. And that spinoff is called The Black Jester. So that was my introduction. Woo, that was my introduction to The Black Jester. As soon as I got that idea, I have another notebook that I'll probably, I'll get for the next video. But basically just writing all the initial things down. Plot is something that comes to me last. I think about bigger ideas. I think about contexts, virtues and principles, characters, environment, stakes, character arches first. Now there's no, and I don't want y'all to get me twisted. Like there's no one right way to do it. Everyone has their own way. I'm just expressing my way. And thinking more so about the world first, and then getting that bird's eye view, and then going into like, what are the characters talking about? What do they look like? What are they dressed like? What are they eating? That'll be like the last thing that comes to me. And it's a double-edged sword because I'll end up kind of slacking on dialogue. That's something that I need to work on and I can admit to. Like I end up slacking on dialogue. I'll end up relying too much on satire than actual, like drama or I'll just say that, than actual drama, which is something I work on. So I'm thinking about the world of The Black Jester. And so I've kind of hinted at this before, but the whole idea in this new writers or performance philosophy that I'm bringing to the surface is called mythologizing. I'm like looking at both cameras. It's called mythologizing. And so mythologizing says, when you think of a myth, you get the big old Zeuses. You got your big old Aphrodites. You got your Herculeses, your demigods, your gods, your demigods, your nymphs. These are all aspects of the mind. Shout out to Dolo the Pilot Man for reminding me of what an allegory is. Mythology is just a huge allegory. But there was a time when mythology was science. Like mythology was common sense. Mythology was home remedies. They were anecdotes. But just over time, they turned into other things. It get deep and tricky. But going back to mythology. So, okay. I'm looking at where we're at now. I don't see no big ass Zeus in the sky. I don't see Aphrodite. I don't see Venus. I mean, you can see Venus, but I don't see Venus. So what are myths today? We still living. I still got a pulse. What are myths today? Hold on. Hey, what's going on, Chance? Hey, that's what's up. I gotta remind myself I'm on YouTube and IG. So bear with me, y'all. Oh, this is good. I like this. Look like panorama. Y'all can't see it, but anyway. So yeah, back to mythologizing. So what is this whole idea? How can we point back to ourselves, not necessarily making ourselves the god, because I feel like that's a given. It's like, or making ourselves the hero. Like that's a given. When you realize that you ain't shit, when you realize like you have parts in you that are villains, you have parts in you that are the hero, you have parts in you that are just mundane. and actually understanding that each of these stories, namely the Bible, we can get into that. We get into that, but these ideas are just virtues and principles, thoughts and feelings that are happening within ourselves. And mythologizing is first admitting that you are these different aspects. You're not necessarily Icarus. You ain't Icarus. Everything almost fell. Look, yeah, you ain't Icarus. You ain't Icarus. Technology was like, I am Icarus. I'm the I. Look, the iPhone, the iMac said, I'm the I. What you mean I ain't Icarus? Hold on, I'm resetting. I'm here. You're not Hercules. Hercules, but you're all of these things. And so taking that into consideration, just the mundane shit that we go through. And I only say mundane because, you know, it could be something as easy as walking down the street and you're inspired to fucking write a poem. It could be something as easy. Yeah, I'm styling my hair, y'all. I'm styling my hair. It can be something as simple as just walking down to get some ice cream and you have a really good feeling. Okay, how do you anthropomorphize that? How do you turn that into a story? And mythologizing, this philosophy that we're bringing to the surface is exactly that. So the Black Jester is a mythologizer. I'm gonna come up with a word. The Black Jester is a myth of myself, and my goal is to make it universal. What it is that I've experienced, universal. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of references to, obviously there's going to be a lot of references to the Black Knight film, which is a spinoff. When I was doing research, and because I mean, look, I'm on technology. I'm also on StreamYard. So the Black Knight is also a fucking like whole Marvel character. That's what I discovered when I started doing initial research and just getting ideas and, you know, structuring them. I was like, what? Namely because that my expression was that, namely because the film, The Black Knight with Martin Lawrence, did not reference that at all. I don't know. Maybe I gotta watch some behind the scenes and see how they, you know, brought that whole idea to fruition. I don't know, but they did not hearken to any of Marvel. I don't know. I actually don't know, and maybe I need to do some fucking research. I mean, obviously I do, but yeah, which I thought was really cool. So I want there to be obviously that esoteric, supernatural, it can't be explained mystical aspect to the Black Jester. And namely what happens, I'm gonna make myself the protagonist, which doesn't necessarily mean I'm the good guy. What does protagonist mean? Like, is protagonist tied to morality? Or does it just mean like that's the pro? Nah. I'm making myself the central character. I don't even know how else to say that. I'm gonna just make myself the central character of the Black Jester, and I'm gonna challenge myself by putting it in 2012. And I say challenge myself because timepieces, to me, you gotta stick to the script when it comes to a timepiece. It has to be culturally relevant, technological relevant, politically relevant. So, you know, like I'm already imagining like a lot of like YOLOs, references to like colloquialisms in 2012, shit like that. And I want to challenge myself with that. This is gonna be all right. I'm all right. That's enough with the Black Jester. That's enough. And shout out to Charm. Hold on. I said, hold on. Wait. Shout out to Charm for designing the cover. He's Lone Charm on IG. Let me show y'all this cover real quick, because this was just an idea that I shared with him, and I was like, yeah, I can just imagine it going like, man, shout out to you, man. I really appreciate it. Like, this is the cover. And I was just like, you know, I just wanted to be blacked out. I don't want to focus on like what he looks like. I don't give a fuck about that, because we're just in the initial stages too, just of designing the story, period. If y'all can see that one. And obviously the rainbow waters in the back. You know, just honestly like separating the waters. It's gonna be the version and principle that I'm like hearkening to is just this whole idea of the song "Lucky" by Britney Spears just came into my head. But it's basically like kind of like that hidden understory of like what entertainers go through, jesters go through psychologically, like Am I what I do? Am I just a comedian? Am I just an entertainer? Like, I gotta separate these waters. And the Black Jester is the lore of it is representing, just someone who hasn't separated their waters at all. And kind of how they make their living and what they're known for is this like chaotic kind of like entertainment style. But we're gonna get into the psychology of it. We're gonna get deep into that. So I'm excited. Excited for that. All right, that's enough of the Black Jester. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk about you no more. We're gonna get into and I'm just like really hyped and excited about this one particularly because it's my girl, Nicki Minaj. Okay, switch. So I'm gonna introduce the next story and the last story. It's called Think Pink. Now this is the cover. I'm showing IG. This is the cover, and now I'm gonna show YouTube. I gotta find the person who designed particularly like the statue itself. It's actually smaller than I thought. Where's the lighting? There we go. But shout out to him. And I just did my little thing, Think Pink. I added the little like colors and shit. But basically, all right, here's the premise, and I'm gonna wrap this up. Here's the premise. All right. Like huge Nicki supporter. Nicki is the GOAT at what she does. And particularly, she's just very alluring as an entertainer, as a songstress, a lyricist, and particularly visually and aesthetically, just very alluring. So in 2014, this was during the Pink Print promo, Anaconda, all that shit. Only. She's doing her rounds, and she brings up, she's like, yeah, I'm in the works with ABC, and we're gonna do like a bio series of my life. And it's gonna be like a, how, I became poppin', before the fame. Me, as a barb, I'm a barb. I'm like, when is this happening? I'm on the lookout. I'm like, okay, because usually I like to follow artists for the art. Nicki is one of those artists who blurs the line between like art and fame and like culture. She does it all. She like mixes all of them. So I do like to follow how she interacts with like media, particularly social media, Twitter and all that shit. Cause she like reveals a lot just about the nature of the beast, but people still just be like, yeah, whatever, girl, and she references Marilyn Monroe a lot. But anyway, that's getting into the darker side of shit. Let's keep it light. So I'm following. It's like 2014, 2015. Where is the album? We want the fucking album. Like, where is the show? It never happens. I think she reveals, I don't know what year. Maybe it was during the Queen promo run. So it's probably like 2018 or 2017, somewhere there. She ends up saying that like some behind the scenes industry shit, like, and it just basically didn't come into fruition. My heart was broken. Okay, not really, but like, it's actually sad because it's like, that would have been some dope ass content, especially at the time too, because during the Pink Print 2014, 2015, Onika, she'd watered herself down in a way. She, it was less about the costumes and the wigs and more about the natural style, natural beauty, and straight spitting. So like that, she was just popping that. I'm like, what happened? Get my soul. So I took it upon myself. and I said, you know what? I want to write as kind of like a prompt, something that I can present to Nicki, to her camp. I want to present how I would imagine that bio series would have gone or would go. Because this can still happen, Niggas is making biopics every day. So that's the whole idea. Think Pink. It's another timepiece. So what I want to, and we might do another movie night too, because she did an E special in 2010. It was on E, obviously, and in that special, it was super revealing of like basically everything that happened before the fame, before we knew of a Nicki Minaj, and it was super revealing. I don't think she like, you really can't even find it. It's on Daily Motion. I did my research. It's on Daily Motion, but it's it's just one of those. It's very raw, and she has obviously Nicki's in the documentary. Her mom's in it. Her friends. Shout out Candace, TT, Timby, and Viola, mi amiga, and I use that as my primary source because it's kind of biographical, and I want, I don't want it to just be straight up fiction. Obviously, there is fictional parts of it because I wasn't there, but there is that aspect to it of I'm going to use a primary source, and then from there, utilizing the same idea of mythologizing to create and what I imagine that bio series would look like. So it's I'm excited. I don't go no further than that. I'm excited, and it's just for fun. It's really just a praxis. It's really just all of that shit. Um, hey y'all. So that is Think Pink. I actually wrote the first episode, so this is not necessarily from scratch. It's not particularly from scratch, but I am gonna go back and draw back and like tweak it here and there. Like, oh, this works, this doesn't work. I did an episode. I have some actors' voices on it, and I'm excited to mix all of those together to see what it's like. All right, so that's Think Pink. I'm gonna keep that short and sweet because the Black Jester took way too fucking long. All right, hold on. Let me take a little break. And Alchemy, what's up? The main character, the audience supports. Evildoer or Goody Two Shoes. Thanks for reminding. Oh yeah, the protagonist wins you over. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was talking about like, because I couldn't tell if I want to have protagonists or just central characters. Because I don't necessarily, and this is just my personal philosophy with writing dramas, I don't want there to be, like that character that you root for, because everyone is fucked up. Everyone has something to detach from, is what I'm gonna bring to the surface with these dramas. Like, even like there might be a moment, someone who like thinks like you or feels the way you feel, I want them to even do something to be like, well, why would they even do that? Why would she sleep with Tony's? Like it's like shit like that. Like, yeah. So I don't want nobody falling in love with none of my characters because they all fucked up. And so yeah. So what I said was I was going to do. We're going to run this down. All right. So just to wrap shit up, basically, let me go into. So I'm gonna switch over. I'm on IG, but I'm gonna switch over to what's going on, Nate? I'm gonna switch over to basically just being on YouTube right now, because what I want to do is show the girls what they should have did. It's like, dig it. We all fucked up at a certain degree. Yes. I don't know why. It's like, yeah, we can relate on that shit, But yeah, and presenting that idea too, and I see it being more dynamic. The characters being more dynamic and not one dimensional. That's a challenge for myself. But yeah, okay. So I'm straight up on StreamYard right now. Are they? Yes, sir. Okay. So this is what I do, and I'm gonna just give you an idea of what I've done before, particularly with the Lost Dogs Chase Tails plays. I've gone in and child, y'all gonna see my motherfucker. Chill. You're gonna see all my business. Chill. Just go to Google. You know what? Just go to Google Drive. Stop playing with me. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Freak it. I might just like edit that. I don't give a fuck. Okay. So I am on StreamYard, and you can see my drive. I've made full use of that 15 gigabytes. See, only got 6 gigabytes used up, but I made full use of this shit. So let me see. Like I said, I like to work with structured contexts, and I'll be overly structured, and I'll just like, I imagine it like hanging it up on the wall, and then like maybe I'll just let it hang there for like a year or two. But I'm really like brewing and stewing and all of that. So I think I entitled this series where the Black Jester and Think Pink is gonna be. I think I titled it Magic and the Mundane. So it's very mundane type shit. So I'll show you. I don't have anything for the Black. Okay. So yeah, here we go. So my drives, you can obviously use any online storage thing. Google Drive gives you free 15 gigabytes. That's a lot if you're just writing. So these are titles right here. Like I said, I think big first, and then I'll go small. So I'll go to the Black Jester. I don't have any. Yeah. There's nothing inside of these things, but this is just how I've gone in and separated. I did the manuscript. We have the references and the resources. Manuscript is gonna, because I think I'm gonna kind of X that, because I want to do a book version where it's like just a book. But honestly, that came from a place of like doubting the prominence of like drama in literature. I had this realization a few months back. Like drama is literature. I had to like literally tell myself that like, you know, poetry is literature, novels are literature, drama is literature. It's just not literature that every day, you know, like people will be quick to pick up. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna translate my dramas to manuscripts. But you know what? Fuck that. I'm not doing that. It's I write dramas and that's literature. I write literature and it's dramas. So, you know, this is how I talk to myself. You know, I let myself, you know, I drag myself down and I just pick myself back up. What are you talking about? What do you mean? You write drama, you write literature. You are a author. So have it first for manuscript references and resources, because I'm a motherfucker. I will cite my sources all day and all night, and I value what it is that I do, and I believe that what I do can stand on its own. But I'm not afraid to say that I'm inspired by this person, by this work of art, and I'm going to make sure to cite all of my resource, all of my references, and then I'm going to put just like a list of resources. I can show you how I did that in another, because like I said, I don't in another file, because I haven't started in the Black Jester yet, filling up the folders, the script, and then the rundown. So let me go show you how I've done it in other areas. Think Pink, I have ideas. So you can see here, I have ideas here. Yeah, no, let me stay right here. Drafts, that's another thing. Logistics, I don't know what I meant by that. Synopsis. Oh, this is what I was going to get at. So the whole reason for me even, I mean, obviously to have structure online, I don't necessarily do this on journals. I don't do that in journals, but I would do that online because it's easier to access. And then it's also easier to share with other people. Shout out to Just Able who was in here. Hold on real quick. I was the kid who always exited out and log off your computer. Exit out. No, I don't. I was about to say I remember my password. I don't remember my password. It was some numbers. Anyway, shout out to Just Able who was in here. But that's how I was able to communicate the material that I had already created for the Institute Pursuit. I put all of that in files and folders. And initially, when I'm creating all these folders and files, and it looks all like, it's a lot. The whole idea is to communicate that with other artists who aren't particularly voice actors. Like if you're a voice actor and I'm saying, hey, I have this idea and I want to present it to you, I'm going to give you this link to all this folder, and then the voice actor will go into the script. Now, say I want to work with Just Able. I want to work with a designer. I'm going to send you, and I'm still on StreamYard, but I'm looking at IG. This was the first, this was the first design that I did for Think Pink. But I might send Just Able something like this. You know what? No. Okay, y'all get it. Y'all get the Black Jester and Think Pink. All right, cool. But let me show you what I've already done just to give that example. So the Boomverse is another series on its own. That's where all the Lost Dogs chase tails. You can see that right here. And I'm gonna go into the Institute Pursuit. So yeah, same thing. This has a little bit more to it because with the voice actors, I shared them this folder, and I have the audio play uploads. I have something like the characters here. Different people's vocals are in here. Inspirations outro. But say for instance, yeah, world's aesthetic. I'll give you an idea. And this is just a slideshow. The little slideshow that I made again in Google Drive because they got that 15 gigabyte. So this is just something that I picked up in the academic world. And just because working with set designers, this is something that they would do to work with people, you know, who like, yeah, for example, like I have an idea for a play but I'm going to give you these like visual images of what I'm looking for. Can you work with that? And then the artist who doesn't have shit to do with the actual show as far as like performing will say, okay, yeah, I can work with that. And then they make their shit. So this was something that I sent to Just Able when I said, okay, you know, this is kind of like the movie poster or even like the content of the plot, you know, Zoolander 2, Dora, these are all satires. Tomb Raider, because it has that like edge to it that it's like on a journey type shit. This is the setting, the environment. It's set in Baltimore. This is what I envisioned the campus, the university looking like. Shit like that. And this is the, you know, this is this is what I imagine. I'm just laughing because I remember the space that I was in, even putting it all in. And look, it's like a full circle moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa. This is scene 2. This is how I imagine Jam, the Jam character, like sits back, he's in this room, you know, and so yeah. even when it comes down to the soundtrack. So this, my point was kind of resources and references. I'm spelling it all out for myself so that I can see the structure. And then when it does come time, hey, I want to work with a producer. Shout out to Potent Doses. His name is Potent Doses on Instagram. But I sent him this idea of a soundscape. And these are just songs that remind me of the plot that I wrote. But I don't fucking produce. I don't make music. I don't produce music. So I'm gonna need, can you work with me here? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I know it's not the most, but I also respect the nature of a collaboration where it's up to the other person to come up with something in their own mind. I'm gonna fucking respect it either way because I put in the energy on my end. This is as far as I can go. This is as far as oh shit, I don't know what I just clicked on. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. But technology. Yeah. Yeah. So this was the introduction, and it's gonna be basically the rest of the series is gonna be less of technology because this was very like tucky. Introduction. I'm talking a fucking lot, but what is to come is basically how I go about writing scripts, and a lot of the information is based off of esoteric knowledge, gematria, numerology. Again, shout out to Dolo the Pilot Man, and how I've kind of taken numbers 1 through 9, archetypes of astrology, and as we're inspired by that in our day to day, honing in on that and then turning it into a system to create dramas. That's my 360, y'all. I did my. I'm a clown. I'm the Black Jester. So yeah, that's coming up next. This is my introduction. Yeah, I'm gonna get it popping. So and I know I said I'm gonna write an entire. It might just be the first 3 episodes because I want this to be purely digital content because I'm writing the whole play on the internet. I might put it into like a play, but for the most part, this might just be digital content. I might just do the first 3 episodes. I also might not. I'm just talking too much at this point. But thank y'all for coming through, rocking with me. And this is the introduction to the world. I am the world premiere. This is E-Series Season 2. This is the writer's room. We're writing the Black Jester. And when I retire, tell them think pink. All right. Bye. All right. I'm going to end it on IG. And I'm going to end it on YouTube. Shout you out, Chance. And broadcast. Please save.